Welcome to Farthest Frontier. My name is Nilaus, and this is the first look video of a brand new colony simulation game that just hit release. Thank you to Create Entertainment for sponsoring this first video of Farthest Frontier. Check out the link in the description below for more information. What is Farthest Frontier? Well, according to the Steam description, it says, protect and guide your people as you forge a town from the untamed wilderness at the edge of the known world. Harvest raw materials, hunt, fish, and farm to survive. Produce crafted items for trade, consume, equip and fight as you battle for your survival against the elements and the outside threat. Farthest Frontier has a focus on realism of the systems employed, such as economy, farming, health, and the colonist behavior. I rarely take sponsorships on this channel, so when I do, it's because a game looks interesting, and the sponsorship is for showcasing it on my channel. The opinions I expressed are my own, but if you want to see more on the channel, then be sure to hit the like button, let me know in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, you know the drill, and then this can turn into a full series here on the channel. Let's dive into a new game. Here we are in the start of the game. The first thing that happens is that we have to place our town center, and our scouts have, or population here have, settlers have scouted the land so we can see what's out here. There's wolf den, there's clay deposits, there's deer, there's more clay deposit, that's nice. There's also some elevation, more deer. So it's about finding a good balance of what we want. We want like lots of trees nearby in the beginning, and we want to make sure we don't settle on top of raider camp, for example, and maybe not on top of wolves either. So just roaming around here, trying to find a good balance between having good things nearby and not having bad things nearby. So I'll just find a good place to settle, and then we'll get started. I've decided that this is a good place to build, so let's just settle our town center and get started. So why did I choose this? Well, mainly because there's a lot of flat ground where I want to build my city, so that's a good start. So we have our place. They need 16 logs, which we don't have, and there's obviously a housing shortage. So let's start telling them to clear down the forest around here. We're going to clear the forest that's around us. We have deer, which we need, and we have some things we can forage. So the first things we want to build, and let's see, is over here into buildings. We want to get some food production going, and what I want to do is I want to make a hunter's cabin. We press tab to rotate it. I'm going to build 2 of these here. Then I'm also going to build a foraging shack so we can collect resources, other resources. There, I'll build that here and here. And then, of course, we're going to be building roads. I mean, I am a beginner in this game, so there's probably going to be some really silly things that I do. But hey, we're here to learn how the game works. So I'm going to be building roads all the way around my city center here. It should be fine. So let's get them started on this. After this, let's see, what else do we want? We can see resources. We probably want a well, so let's actually get a well going here. And let's see, that could be here. Oh, that also requires some stone. And what else? A firewood splitter is a good thing. So we want those to be sort of behind, because I want my housing to be out here and then industry to be back here. I think that's going to be fine, because it's these firewood splitters, people don't really want to live nearby a firewood splitter. Firewood splitter gets us some firewood for our housing. So is it necessary right now? They also go in priority of what is being done. Let's look at other things that we could do. We could not do anything else because we need to get this going. So we'll just let them cozy on up here and chop some trees and get this building done. I will, of course, prioritize this building because otherwise it never gets done. We also have this storage cart, which sort of have a lot of materials for us. So we have some bows and swords and tools and arrows, so we can start working. And we also have some food to get in here. And this one can be moved around a little bit. So we'll keep it here close because this is basically our warehouse right now. And there we go. Our town center is done. Ding ding. Requirements: building shelters in order to upgrade a market, and 30 people in order for us to upgrade, and then we get to do this. So this is firewood. Yes, it's telling us that we need firewood, which is fine because that's we need to get that up here. We see the seasons, so spring, summer, autumn, or fall, I don't know, and winter. And we also have research that's coming in 6 months. We have no people that are sick. We have 12 people, but none of them have places to live. We are pretty unhappy. And we have food for 5 months. So that's basically the overlay here. And these are the key resources that we need. So the next thing I want to do is start working on housing. So let me drag this one out here, actually. Let's do the housing first. Housing, because we now do housing, now that we have this one. So these are 3 by 3. And I think it would be a good idea to sort of have some more room around them, but I don't know. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7. So in this game, as far as I can tell, you don't really need roads in a sense that it's not like Timberborn where they won't be moving places if it's not connected to a road. So that's basically what I mean. That is not as critical. They can still get in here, for example, even though there's no roads in here, unlike Timberborn. So you can see also another thing is that roads seem to have highest priority, so they stop doing everything else as long as there are roads to be built. That's it. This middle square here will be like small parks and stuff like that to increase the desirability of these houses around here. We are now putting 8 houses down. That's kind of a lot. This is now our hunter's cabin, so we need to send people out to do hunting work. We don't need to have this tutorial because I will be your tutorial. Here we can set this up and say, okay, where do we want to hunt? We want to hunt where there's actually some deer. And then the other one, you can also hunt somewhere, maybe the same deer, or ideally we'd want to find another deer somewhere. When we scouted, I think there was something down here, but we can also just use this for scouting. So let's send you out there and see if we find anything. Meantime, we are also getting these forager shacks. Foragers, they can start picking up all these things like willow, medicinal roots, herbs. Those are not really things you can eat, but we need stuff we can eat. So blueberry bushes, yes please. And we got the first one, and there's one person employed here. So let's see what we want to get. And I really want stuff that we can eat first. So I think this is a good area. There's some blueberry bushes here and some greens. So that should give us some good starting. And you can see this warning says that there's no firewood. That is what we're working on up here. So let's get those done. Our modest little town is growing, and we're getting the 3rd house here, which should fix our housing shortage. Currently there's 12 people and there's 8 of them that have a house, and the 3rd house here is completed. So now we have that completed. We can go in here and see we have 4 people assigned to be dedicated builders, and then we have 2 people for foraging, 2 people for hunters, and then 1 for firewood splitter. So that leaves 5 laborers here. That's not a lot of laborers here. You can also see how many. So when there's work to be done, that's 4 that can be assigned, and 4 of them are currently working on building. Other than that, well, yeah. So here we have new people coming. We really want that. We don't know how many people are coming, but they want 4 months of supplies of food. That's good. And 6 houses. If we get this much, we're going to be this much food. Then it's actually going to spoil. So maybe we actually want one of these to be. You're out hunting. I'm actually going to be toggle building production. So we want less hunting right now because we want more people chopping wood so we can build more houses. When we get more houses, we get more people, and then we can sort of, that's kind of how it goes. We also need to chop some wood so we can get some firewood going before the winter, please. We can now see our houses here are starting to complain that there's no well nearby and they want a clean water. So we focused a little bit on gathering some stone so we can get a well, and that should get this one happy. So we got a well, and this one should affect all of these houses. They have sort of a reach, and come on, clean water nearby. They should have clean water nearby. Well, I'm just gonna say that that's just waiting for update. Maybe it's only when they go, okay, there we go, they go pick it up, and then once they go back to their houses, then they will see they'll see what the desirability. That's just how desirable the buildings are. Yeah, okay. So now they brought in the water, and then that's good. So we just want to make sure that all their needs are met, and then build one more house. Once we have one more house, then we should be getting some immigration in, and we're also going to get a knowledge very soon, and then we can look at the tech tree. New people have immigrated into our city, not even because of this, but that's great. What we're going to do is we're going to be switching on this one again. And let's see, this one has area up here. This one is an area here. So we just want to make sure that we have some deer somewhere. And we got our first knowledge point. So let's take a look at the tech tree. I think the tech tree is pretty damn well done. It might be a little overwhelming with too many options to begin with, but that's basically is there's farming things, there's food things, there's city things, there's military things, and there's industry things. So the first thing I want to do, and I think that's generally a good idea, is getting extra knowledge, because that means we get extra research point, which means we unlock more of this tree. And the way it works is you need 9 among the lower 2 rows before you can unlock the next tier rows, and then you need 20 something, I think, to unlock the 3rd tier, and then there's the 4th tier. Or you can upgrade your town center. That's also a way to get access to the next tier. And all of these are generally like taxation, like it gets us bonus things, but there are also things that actually enable new buildings. Such as, for example, after we get 2 levels of taxation, we can get a market can be upgraded to a market square. So this is both about getting percentage upgrades, but it's also about unlocking particular buildings or technologies like smithing or mining, I think. Yes, so there's a good balance, and there's always way more good things to do than there's than we have money for or points for. Well, looks like we'll get some meat that's spoiling, and we should also get, that's 6 houses now, so we should get this one coming in. But since things are spoiling, let's figure out on the food production, forage shack, fishing shack. Oh, we should get that. We should get a crop field. Yes, a smokehouse. That is really nice. That affects the desirability quite significantly. So let's move that somewhere else, far away from the town. It would be nice to have it next to these, but I don't want to have it affect the desirability by having it nearby it. People don't want to live next to a smokehouse. We could also get other things, such as under storage. We can get a stockyard where they can store random stuff. That actually is interesting, because that should have been, this one. I will just delete you, and I'll build it somewhere else. Delete this, and I'm going to get the smokehouse. It's under food production, smokehouse. I'll build it here, and then I can build another, maybe another 2x3 building right there when we find something that's a 2x3 building. And let's see, storage housing, amenities. We can build a shrine, but that requires gold. We don't have a graveyard. We really don't want that, because that would mean that people have died. Storage, we don't have that. Storage, there's also a storage depot. Okay, we need to build a stockyard, and after the stockyard we can build stuff like the root cellar, which is reliable, keeping food for longer. We don't really want our food to spoil. That's kind of uncool. So, yeah, I think this one really should. Oh, we need 4 months of food supplies. Ah, right, so we need food supplies. Cool. So while that's figuring out that we get our food supplies, then I'm going to look at the overlay here for fertility. There is insanely fertile ground down here. So I think we want to start building a farm and trying to make it over here. So I'm going to try to sort of keep a pattern here and work our way over to build a farm. It's going to be a 9x9 farm, so like this. There we go. We finally get these in here. 7 people wants to join our village. Yes, please. Get in here. And that's going to be needed, because farming is taking a hell of a lot of effort. So let's see. And this is now a 9x9. 9x9. There. Good. And then I have to deselect this road. Why can I not deselect the road? There. It's weird that you have to kill like roads, the entire road segment, instead of just the stuff that built. So it's a little bit important that you make the roads exactly to the corners you want, it seems. Maybe that's just me putting too much effort into it. Okay, so this farm, there's a problem now, because they will, if there's auto refill professions, then we will already now, or soon we'll see that farmers are going to be assigned here. And I don't want farmers to be assigned to a crop, to a field that isn't built yet. So we'll wait a little bit. Here, a bustling market. Yes, a market would be a great idea. And we want to place it right here. So the next thing, that is an amenity, I guess. a market, and requires a saw pit. Okay, so we need saw pit. That's also great because that requires boards. So that's under resources. And a firewood splitter. Why can we not make a saw pit? Because we don't have a stockyard. Stockyard is up here, so we need to get the stockyard, then a saw pit, and after the saw pit we can make a market. So we have a sequence of what we want to do. So the winter is here, and one of the things I really love about this game is the transition of seasons. Like, it's really clear that it's winter, and during the fall it's like beautiful autumn colors, and yeah, so it's really nice to see the changes. Basically, also during the winter, then they're cold, so they spend more time indoors and less time working. So you will see that they get really lazy in winter, which is understandable. I do too. And a lot of the things are grayed out because you can't really harvest these things during the winter. There's no blueberries to harvest during winter, so we'll have to wait until the next season. The deer are still around. There's lots and lots of yummy deer, so go out and harvest those or farm those, because that's kind of what we need for food. We also desperately need a root cellar. We got the stockyard upgraded, so let's actually get the root cellar. We can get the saw pit now, but I think honestly I want the root cellar here. That's a really expensive stone wise to get that, but it does help get it safe. Or maybe actually the smokehouse will keep us happy in this regard. We don't have anything that's smoked. Why is the smokehouse not working? You should be working, because this one is important. So smokehouse, start smoking. And well, we're gonna build a root cellar anyway. We're gonna build it over here so it's close to our city and close to the stuff that we want to store. That requires more stone, so we'll mark some more stone. Okay, that one is targeted, and this one is targeted, and this little stone as well. Good. And what else? Now that we have this one going, then we need to make sawmill. That was the stuff that they were saying. Sawmill was important. Saw pit. I'm gonna build one. This is probably really undesirable. Yes, it is. Look at how much it destroys the minus 16. Oof. Yeah, so let's make it all the way down here. Next to the stockyard is a good place. I definitely want 2 of those eventually. But let's build one and then see how it goes. Oh, look at that. They're out shooting the deer. Yummy food. So here is now start of the year number 2, and we get an update about policies. So we can enact policies, and I don't think they're very good. So here's the policies we have. We can do under production. We can do crop yields are increased by 25. That's great, but fertility reduction from crops is increased by 25. So, okay. Production speed is increased by 20, but chance to incur injuries increased by 30. That sounds awful. Rationing. Less food, but happiness is down. So, this might be necessary if we want to get. So, they'll not be happy. Or down here we have middlemen, but their upkeep is increased. Whew. Hunters and guards can use crossbows. If toggled off, crossbows are military only. Yeah, but I don't have crossbows, so you know these policies don't really do much for us right now. There's nothing that, is such a clear bonus that I think we'll just have to go in. We got a knowledge point, and death and taxes are things that you can't avoid. So we'll start getting some taxes, because that should allow us to actually get the first bit of gold, I think. Our objective now is going to be focusing on the marketplace. Up here, that marketplace, it requires a saw pit, so the saw pit is here. Dude, the saw pit is done. How can we not do this one? A storehouse. Oh, okay, so we need to also do a storehouse. That's under storage. Storehouse. Okay, so stockyard, storehouse, there's so many weird things that seem to be the same thing. So we built a storehouse over here. And actually, no. I think I'm gonna build it down here instead. The storehouses might also be things that could be... See, it doesn't affect the desirability, so we might as well build it down here. Right, so that's another 30 wood that needs to go in. And we also need 10 more stone for the root cellar, so we can store some of our food a little bit better, so it doesn't rot so easily. And we got the spring coming in. I think it's also time for us to set up a fishing hut, because we need more fishing, or we need more food, and it's just one person setting up the fishing, so that should be easy. That is the fishing shack. I'm gonna build it out here, so it doesn't really matter as far as I can tell which way where we place it, because we can move the location anyway. And we're gonna give you a little road out here. So nice fishing hut all the way out to here. And there's 2 shoals of fishes, so fishies. So that should be good. This is the farm. It takes an insane amount of work effort. So yeah, there's 4 people assigned to this work, and they're just chopping along, and it takes forever. But we need to get the farming going, because that will be our future way of getting tons of food. We got our storehouse and our root cellar, so now we can move on to the next thing. And that was the marketplace. Now we can build the marketplace. So the marketplace is the opposite. It gives us more, it gives us +7 desirability for the ones that are closest, and +5 for the ones that's furthest away. And if I make it up here, then it will also affect my next, let's call it what it is, city blocks. There we go. And that means this is the most important thing that we want to get. But you can see this reads wooden planks and stone. We have neither. This saw pit is making wooden planks. We got 20, so that's actually nice. And we got, what was this one? This needed 50, so there's something. And then we need to go out and find some stone here and there. There doesn't seem to be a lot of stone on this map, so we have to be a little bit desperate for finding stone. There, oh, there's an old tree stump. There we go. There's more harvest resource and harvest resource. So let's get those in as well, so we can get our stone here. We're actually getting close to our maximum size of our city here, so we need to make more houses, and that means more. That means just a lot more being included here. It's a lot of logs that we need to get here. So I'm building it on this side because there's less forest to be removed, while I would really love to build it over here. But then we also need to take these blueberry bushes, which we can luckily move in somewhere else. And then, yeah, so we can move the blueberry bushes somewhere. But we'll let this forest get sort of naturally cold, I guess, there. Get all this out. And this is, our marketplace is getting closer, but it's still taking quite a while. I would also imagine that we'd need another freshwater supply down here, so let's build that in advance as well. Food production. The well is not a food production, it's a resource. Yes. So let's build that here. Yeah, it's cheap, but we need it also if houses catch fire. Then it's good to have wells nearby, so we can put out the water faster. There we go. We hit a new milestone. That is our farm is now ready. And look at this. Woo, that's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so the way it works is that we have 3-year rotation, and then we can decide what to do. Right now, the fertility is somewhat okay, but there's a lot of weed and there's a lot of rocks. So we need to get some things going to try to sort of remove that. And the next season here we'll just be doing this. Clovers are just good for increasing fertility. They're also good for suppressing weeds, and tilling the fields here is just kind of working the fields to remove the rockiness and the weeds. So we want to get that going in the beginning, and then we can also start, let's actually move these over and then see if we can get beans in here. They might not be well, but the beans here, they are, if you sort of read through this, they are very frost tolerant and can contribute to soil fertility. So that's good. Are best grown in early spring. So we need those to be the first. And then we can go down here and go the same. And then I think this one, does that say anything about when? Replenish soil fertility in the field. So in the beginning, we just want to work this field a lot. Actually, maybe this is not how I want it in the beginning. Maybe I do want it to be tilled first. There we go. We'll do this one first, and then only by year 3 we'll be starting to farm some things, because we need to get the weed levels down and the rockiness down to actually get something. Soil mixture, that's something we can work on later, but we don't have sand, we don't have clay to start mixing in, so not really something for us yet. But look at them. Look how happy they are and how happy we are. So 4 people working the farm, that's not a lot, but it'll get going. And the next thing we want to do is the marketplace. Once we have the marketplace, then it's sort of a new chapter, because then we're going to start making money from our population, which is the whole point. Become the new ruling class. There we go. We got now the taxes coming in. Building is more workers. Yes. And here room for more workers. There we go. We got one. We only want one here. So what is happening? Oh, we just got some new ones here. Right. So what is happening from this? We get a monthly income of 9 gold. It's not a lot, but it's something, and it's something we need. So this will give us some happiness. It'll give us some or the upgrades. Okay, so this will give us some regular supply of gold, which is amazing, and it'll also work as sort of people will bring stuff into the marketplace, and then it'll be distributed to the houses around. So that's kind of a new section comes up. So now we've set up farming a little bit, and we've set up some marketplace, and we are getting our second city block of suburbia here built. So I think this is a great place to wrap up the first episode. If you want to see more, then you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Then I'd be happy to continue. But of course, it requires that there's some interest in continuing this on the channel. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to Create Entertainment for sponsoring this video. And remember that there's a link in the description below in the pinned comment that you can check out to see that, oh, look at that, more people, because we have, look, this is perfect. Oh, man, look at them. They're just coming on in. Great. And that means we're actually almost trained. Oh, this is so great. Cool. We'll be continuing this in the next episode. Right? Until then, take care and stay effective.